The American Basketball Association is the largest pro league in the world. Some great opportunities for team ownership are available, and the cost may surprise you. If you've ever thought about team ownership in a pro league, give us the opportunity to help make it a reality. Reach out to us for more info. For USA teams at www.abaliveaction.com. In Australia, go to www.abaleagueaustralia.com.
Have you heard of Modere? They have some of the safest products on the planet, free from over 3,000 harmful ingredients. They send me product specials and birthday surprises, and every time I order, I could win a Modere Escape from the rewards program. The easy-to-use app means I can order anywhere, anytime. Give it a try. Download the app. Use my promo code 3i6W8K and get $10 shopping credit on your first order. Share with friends and they get $10 as well. Modere. Stylish, safer, smarter.
Modere is a proud sponsor of ABA 101. We have lots of athletes using their liquid biocells like former NFL player Willie Harper. Have a look for yourself. You can either go to www.modere.com or www.modere.com.au. Use our show promo code 3i6W8K. Get $10 off on your first order. It costs you nothing to look.
We're back. It's ABA 101. We got a few great guests on the show today. I got Brian and Rick with me again. We also have Rodney Teal, and we also have KJ from Chico SuperKats. So, guys, welcome to ABA 101. Let's make magic.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Let's get going.
Let's do it. Awesome. All right. Hey, Rick, we're going to let you kick it off, baby.
All right. Well, thanks. We're going to spend some time talking to Rodney and KJ. I've got a couple of things I need to ask KJ because last week I did a little background, did a little homework on KJ, and got a few little things I'd like to discuss with him.
Let's get it.
We got a couple common bonds. I know that's hard to believe, and just talk a little bit about that. My original talk last week, I was going to talk on all the controversy or the stuff that's going on now about college players getting paid. But the thing about that is, that's very controversial. People have very strong opinions both ways on that about players getting paid. But that's what's sort of trending here in the U.S. last few weeks, among other things, the COVID thing and all that too. But there's been a lot of controversy. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and listening to stuff online and doing my research, and I thought that'd be a good topic to talk about. Get you guys' take on college players, the scholarship and all the controversy, because the amateurism versus professional, it's a large gamut there. It's a large gamut of hope there. So let's get some of you guys' take on players getting paid. Got anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I would have loved to get paid, right? But as a player who loves the game, I say as an amateur, there should be something to build up to. There should be something to look forward to. Like, we should do it just for the love and for the opportunity. Then again, there's a lot of money being made on the players. So at the same time, there's got to be some kind of retribution.
Compromise.
Right.
Is this Randy? Is this Rodney talking?
Sorry, no, this is KJ. Sorry, I should.
Okay, yeah, KJ. What's up, man? I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Yeah, you're right, KJ. That's as I said, it's very controversial. But I have everybody's got their opinion on it. I don't know. It's one of those deals. I don't think there is no one solution.
It's tough.
Size that fits all. Because here's my thing: when you start paying players, and primarily the fun people that make the money in college over here anyway, is the football and basketball program, especially the football program. In the South, or all over the country, but more so in the Southeastern Conference, the amount of money that's made on a Saturday afternoon football game, and then March Madness with basketball. Oh, it's obscene the amount of money that's being generated. And the players, but here's the problem with that. You start paying players. Okay, you opening Pandora's box. Now, are you going to pay the cheerleaders? Are you going to pay the girls track team? Are you going to pay the lacrosse team? I mean, everybody's got to be a part of this. You can't just say, all right, I'm just going to play the football players. Now, when the football players, the quarterback can make more than the defensive end. I just think it's very, very complex, in my opinion.
And you start getting into contracts and all that stuff that most players in the college don't even understand how to handle.
And agents. Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a great point. But these agents, they're just sitting around chomping at the bit. I mean, this is money for them. I mean,
and I feel like you guys are missing a big point on this. Also, whenever you go to college, it's more about, your schoolwork and your degree. So, whenever you start paying people, that takes away the focus on school. So it's like, why should I even go to class now? I'm getting paid however much. Yeah, I already got the money. So why am I even going to class? So that's also a big issue as far as, being a student. Student first, that's why they say student athlete.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay,
I'm not you, Brian. Not you.
Here we go.
What a shocker! What a shocker that is.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rick. What a shock! What a shock!
Okay, now I agree. Okay, I agree that players should be paid based on the revenue streams which they create for these schools and these institutions, and also the revenue streams that they enhance for the sports that they play in. Now, I do get the argument of, okay, are we going to pay everybody? Are we going to start paying all these athletes that attend schools? I think it should be based on the revenue streams that's created by the sport that's associated with those athletes. For instance, to your point, Rick, football and basketball generates the majority of that revenue that these schools get from TV rights and sponsorships and so forth and so on. So they should be paid accordingly to that revenue stream. Now, when baseball has its season and they don't really get that revenue stream until that, college world championship, or lacrosse, they don't really get it until that lacrosse college championship or ice hockey. So that's when they're really getting that extra attention that's going to generate more of a revenue stream. As to where those other sports get it on a weekly basis. But to you guys' point about, okay, I'm at school, I'm getting paid, so why should I go to class? At the same time, that's still a contract that you won. It's just like your scholarship now. Your scholarship now is supported with financial aid as well. So under your scholarship conditions now that athletes get, they have to maintain a certain GPO or they're going to lose their scholarship. Mm-hmm. Okay, you as an athlete, and this is where the colleges are arguing, hey, we're paying you some $300,000, $400,000 for your scholarship. Okay, so we're already paying you, but you're not getting paid in terms of living on a daily basis or actually earning an income, because it's all set aside in your package. But if you say, all right, it's the same thing, but now you're going to actually provide a wage based on the income that I'm generating to this institution, well, then it all makes sense. Because the thing I have a problem with is you can be a superstar. KJ, you're a superstar at UCLA. Okay, Rodney, superstar at North Carolina or Duke. Well, guess what? That school can sell your jersey, right, and make as much money as they can off of your image, your likeness, your jersey, and everything else, but you're not allowed to get a dime off of it.
Yeah, that's weird.
You understand? So if you're allowing players to get paid under certain circumstances, I think it works. But that's just my opinion.
To support that, Brian, I think even for the other sports that don't make enough money, I think maybe it would maybe have them start working harder and training more to be more entertaining for their.
Exactly.
No, I strongly disagree with that. My daughter's on a bowling team. No, I'm hypothetical here. Now,
Okay.
what is it? She ain't gonna get no money because she's in that bowling team. To her means just as much as being a running back on a football team does to you. Now we're making some decisions on partiality thing here. We don't like this sport, or we like it, but it's not drawing the money. So,
but
now
that's why.
The point of why you go to college.
That's why I say it should be based on the revenue that's generated. That way, you're actually not showing any favoritism to any sport. It's just what revenue streams are coming in. And I mean, colleges have the advantage over everything, because you can attend a Division I college, but then your football program. When I went to UC Santa Barbara, yeah, we were Division I in basketball, we were Division I in volleyball, we were Division I in women's basketball, but we were Division III in football. We were Division II in baseball. I mean, that's changed by now, but you have colleges who, and this is the difference, they put a lot, and you know that, Rick, they put a lot of money in certain programs because that money can then be generated through the success of those programs. And so they'll put more money into the football program and let that bowling team, well, right now, you're only going to get so much because of the division that you're competing in. Do you know
so the bowling team could still get paid. It would just be less because they don't bring in as much.
Exactly. So everybody's getting paid, but you're just getting paid according to the revenue streams that your sport creates. It doesn't take away from your scholarship. It doesn't take away from, that normal scholarship and all the contractual obligations that both the school and the athlete has. But as far as paying the players, you get paid according to the revenue stream of your sport.
And Brian, to ask on that, like, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Player to player, like, so if does the whole basketball team get paid the same amount, or the more productive players?
The whole basketball team gets paid the same amount. The whole football team gets paid the same amount, because you then don't alienate a player or players based on a position that they play.
Yes, sir.
You don't pay a quarterback more than you do a strong safety, because it's a team sport. Absolutely. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You don't pay the leading scorer more than the guy with the most assists, because it's a team sport. You make that the blanket coverage. So nobody's getting more than anybody else, but you're getting it based on that revenue stream. That's just
how good it's based on how good you are then. This is ironic you say this, because this thing I was listening to last Wednesday, it was about Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush came out and talked about paying players. And he was talking about paying the players. He wasn't against paying players, but he was against paying players with no, let's see how I word this. There's no structure, nobody giving them any direction. In other words, you give a 17-year-old $1 million, and Reggie Bush was one of them. He got paid. And that's why he had to turn his Heisman Trophy back in and had to forfeit all these games and stuff when he was at USC. But I think you're opening up Pandora's box. Who's going to determine what about the schools that doesn't have football and they're just Division I? So they're not going to get paid as much as Duke, is University of California, Davis going to get paid the same thing as Duke's getting paid?
They can't.
Both of them's Division I. Both of them NCAA.
Yeah. But they can't, because that's why I say to base it upon the revenue stream.
What is the revenue stream? What are you talking about, revenue stream?
When I talk about the revenue stream, I'm talking about, you got the SEC. Well, the SEC, that revenue stream that comes in through the SEC is because they are a Power 5 conference or a power whatever conference.
Yeah, that's right. Power 5, you're right.
And they generate millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, that's a revenue stream that can then be used to help support those athletes. But if you're playing in the MAAC, which is a FCS division, and you're only generating tens of millions as opposed to hundreds of millions, well, you guys get paid according to the tens of millions that's coming in through your revenue stream. Okay, you guys at the FBS, who's generating hundreds of millions, you get paid accordingly to your revenue stream. Do you know what I'm saying? This is why you have so many colleges jumping divisions and jumping conferences, because colleges are, they're going from the Big East to the American Conference to the Big West to the WAC to this. The colleges are jockeying, and they're playing this chess game to try and get into a conference where they can gain more revenue stream. This is what they're doing. So as a part of that, all right, well, if you're going to jump into a conference, and this is why they're doing it, this is why West Virginia goes from the ACC to the Big 12, because there was more money in the Big 12 than what they were getting in the ACC. This is why this school,
Big East, not ACC.
or the Big East, sorry.
Yeah.
The Big East. This is why they're jumping from conference to conference, because schools are looking for that revenue dollar. They really are. They get it because they know the bigger the conference, the more money they're going to get.
Right. And if they're going to, for lack of a better word, exploit the players by selling their jersey. And I mean, remember when they had the NCAA games and all the players were on there? They didn't have their last name, but everybody knew who they were. They're making all this money on them. I feel like something got to go back to the players.
Exactly.
Hey,
But
let me just say this about players getting about the jerseys. I can count probably on one hand. No, maybe use both hands. The number of players out there. It's in college now. Zion, maybe it'll be RJ Barrett, some of those big high-profile players. But past, I ain't buying no jersey that's got Vaughn on the back. I'm just saying, unless you're a high-profile guy, you are no brainer going to the NBA. How many of those kids are out there?
Don't sleep on that Vaughn's jersey now.
I already got your jersey, man. I already ordered it online.
Students that go there buy them, though. That's for sure.
That's right.
That's for most of the
But again, we're talking about how many are we talking about here? We're talking about $30 for a jersey and 50 people buy it. I mean, we're not talking about enough money that ain't even remotely.
That
if it has your last name on it.
And that also like Brian was saying, depends on what school you're actually talking about here too. School support's a big thing. Hey guys, before we go too far on the college, let's talk about the guys after college that are kind of playing in our league now. We got these two young men here who want to find out a little bit. Rodney, I want to hear your experience. You got to, go over and give it a shot. Well, we were trying to get you with Houston United, but you ended up with the Gym Rats, the Japanese team. I want to know, what was that like? What was that like? And then, KJ, I want to know, we see your impressive stats up there on, with Chico SuperKats. So I want to know what that was like, what that's like playing with in Chico for you. But Rodney, you kick it off. Tell me about the Gym Rats.
That was the first exhibition game out here in Houston, East Side Houston. It was very interesting to say the least, because there was no English spoken on our half, on our half of the floor. But it's very interesting just to see how they interpret the game, because Japan, Asia, very big basketball countries as far as the love for the game, and the way they interpret their moves, and just how there's half the time they weren't even really speaking to each other. They were kind of just reading each other, and it was very interesting to see how they did it. And I can tell you that I learned a lot as far as the experience goes of overseas playing with guys who you might not be able to communicate the best with. But still, the game's universal. So
That's it.
they could read some of those. You know, they can read me as much as I'm reading them. So I mean, it was truly a blessing, really, to really see that, to really have that kind of experience.
Awesome. KJ, talk to me, man. What's it
Can I
like
ask
playing
Rodney?
over there?
Can I ask Rodney real quick? Just like
Yep.
the players that were on your team, man. I mean, talent wise, they was just as good. I mean, were they all
The thing
Japanese?
is,
They were just as athletic.
Top height, probably 5'8" was the tallest guy they had. And they're going against guys who were 6'6", 6'7". But whenever I tell you, they had one guy who probably had about 40. He had a bunch of I know he had at least 10 threes. At least. And that wouldn't count none of his layups. And this guy was like a little Japanese Steph Curry, man. Like, this guy was very talented. And I was talking to him, and I wrote down, we used a little translator on his phone or whatever. And he was only like 21, and the guy was just killing. He was killing some other kid on the other team who was about 26, 27, and that guy was really good, but he couldn't hold his own against them, you know? So, I mean, the talent was there. You know,
that's what you like to hear.
Not as much, but the fundamentals definitely were there. Like, they outthought the other team more so.
That's what you like to hear. That's what you like to hear, that, you know, the game is alive and well, and because it's, you know, so international, you know, you can just get on the court, good players. How Jay-Z's song say, real recognizes real, and you're looking familiar. That's how I feel about the game, man. And KJ, what's it like over there in Chico?
I love it out there in Chico. The city just embraces the team. Everyone, you know, we go out walking around in the city sometimes, and they kind of honk at us. Like, it's really fun. I hopped on the team on a whim, just randomly. A friend brought me out to the tryout. I heard it was ABA. You know, obviously I was wrong, but just like a kid in a senior in high school, and he's trying to go to a 4-year, and then he finds out he has to go to a JUCO. It's like, I'm trying to go overseas, and I had to go ABA. But then I find out, man, this ABA is really something. You know, I had great teammates, great coach, and just a talented league. It's a good platform. We got to travel all over. I don't know, the team. I didn't know any of the guys. And then it turns out we have guys of all ages, from like 40 who've been playing the ABA for 15 years. And then it was my first year. So I got to learn a lot about how everything works. It's just great. It's just great, honestly. After I thought I wasn't even going to get to have opportunities that last year, and then to get to go out on that kind of a platform, it was love for sure. Blessing.
Well, that's cool. That's cool, because that was actually a question I was going to present to both of you in relation to how you feel the ABA can be a platform that's needed to get you to the next level, and what were your views on playing in the ABA? And I've heard from you, KJ. Rodney, what are your views on playing in the ABA?
The ABA for me is a huge stepping stone, because I feel like there's a lot of talent just based on, you know, following CJ and seeing what he posts, seeing some of the guys that he's working with. And I got to say that I'm pretty impressed, because some of the talent I see is like, man, these guys are already pro. You know what I mean? Like, already overseas caliber kind of guys. And it's just like, all you really need is that exposure. And I feel like that's what the ABA brings.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what would you like to see? And I'll pose this to both of you. What is it that you would like to see happen with the ABA? Do you, and the reason I'm asking this question is because the ABA is a professional league. It really is. It's a professional league. But what would you like to see happen with that league? Would you like to see that continually be a stepping stone for other opportunities? Or would you like to, based on your experience, would you like to see the ABA
be a main event, really,
that it needs, get the financing that it needs, so that it becomes a viable professional league again?
I think that would be the blessed case scenario for sure, where it's where it's like that main stage. It's something that someone can look forward to, rather than just like a step on the way. I think.
I'll tell you what, in order for that to happen, you better go out and recruit you some owners that's got some deep pockets.
got to recruit the owners. Yeah.
A lot of the owners, and I know this because I was in the ABA for a cup of coffee. A lot of the owners, I know 3 or 4 right here in Florida and in surrounding areas, you know, they thought it was a great deal to be a professional sports owner, own a franchise, but they didn't realize they needed to spend some money to upgrade that franchise and to pay the players. You know, these players living, they're making a living doing this. This is their job. You know, tell them 1 month, you know, well, we can't quite pay you quite as much as we did. You know, it's got to be some kind of continuity there. And again, I don't know how it is in Australia in terms of the ownership, in terms of money. I know Brian, didn't you say you bought a franchise, Brian? Or did
Yes.
I understand that? But I know you got deep pockets and you're going to pay big. But a lot of the, I'm guessing here, probably ain't going to be, you know, not quite as generous as you are.
Yeah, and
Follow
that's
what I'm saying?
Rick. That's one thing we are trying to change
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
I love it, Rick. I love it.
We're trying to build up the league in a slightly different way. That's why we kind of focus on talking to international players. That's why I want to have a lot of the players in the States chatting with us like this, because if you don't have the deep pockets, one of the things I've learned from watching a couple other leagues take off is you need to get the fans and you need to get players here that the fans want to see. And when you start doing that, things start growing. And that's one of the things I'm focused on. I got a point. I got a 7'5" center, Samuel Degara. He's listed on our website. This guy wants to come to Australia and play. Over in Asia, he's like a god, like, you know, and he's going crazy, killing it. The NBA looked at him one time and they passed up on him. And I'm looking at it like, if we bring him to Australia, right away he's the tallest basketball player in Australia, so the press will be on him. And then everyone will be on the ABA because we have him. So this is the kind of stuff that we're trying to look at. That's why I want to reach out to great players, great coaches, and try to make this thing grow.
Yep, you said the key word, CJ. You said the key word. You got to get fannies in those seats. You got to get people in the stands, giving them a product that they can enjoy. That was why the first ABA was so extraordinary. They had some unbelievable players.
Agreed.
But you know, again, it was looked at as a minor league, and it is a minor league basketball. But again, the level of talent, are you kidding me? When you look at the guys that went to the NBA from the old ABA, and this same thing could happen with the ABA now.
I really feel that, and I believe it, you know, and
yeah, of course,
you know, bringing, like, even what we're doing now, we've got former NBA players like Brian and a lot of our friends here that are in Melbourne and Sydney that are played in the NBA that, you know, are wanting to work with us. You know, I got Dale Ellis over there that used to play with the Sonics. He's like, you know, let me know what I can do, you know, and it's positive for us, you know. So I really take it serious about trying to take the league from my end to a really higher level. Not saying it's going to happen overnight. I can't make that promise. Rodney has been with me for almost 2 years now, and he knows that every time I reach back, I got better news for him every time, you know. So yeah, so we're slowly pushing. But guys,
climbing up.
Guys, look, we're getting down here to the last few minutes in here.
To the nitty gritty.
Yeah, to the nitty gritty. So, guys, you're gonna love this. We got another great story from Rick. We always try to end our show on a great story. I think Rodney knows what he's getting ready to come out with.
Oh yeah, I look forward to this. I want to hear this one.
Rick, we're gonna hey, you the man around here, so we're gonna give we're gonna let you close the show out, and then guys, let me say right now, hey, this has went well, and thank you for giving me time, and let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. All right, Rick, hit it, bro.
Well, this story, it's a true story, somewhat. just how it went down was incredible. I have a couple of good friends. One of them, both of them are former players. One played in college and one played in high school. Just great friends, brothers. Lived in Eastern North Carolina, and I don't know whether you know anything about Eastern North Carolina. I lived there a long time. It's the big tobacco company, tobacco area. They raise a lot of the there, and it's not as prominent as it was because of the, all the smoking stuff now. But at one time back in the day, it was one of the richest places in America. So every year when they go to crop the tobacco, I learned that word, crop the tobacco. They need to have people come in to crop tobacco. Those farmers need people to do that. So they had some visitors from abroad, Mexico, and they would come in the season, the tobacco season, and work. A lot of time for unfortunate low wages, but they would work. And then with that, came a lot of people saying it was a lot more crime and stuff, which probably didn't have anything to do with the Mexicans, but they were portrayed as that, and it was unfortunate. But anyway, my friends had an elderly mother. I say she was probably in her mid-80s, wonderful person. Was scared because of all the crime and stuff was going on in that area. So she asked her sons, would they get her a gun, a pistol? They said, "Oh no, Mom, not at your age. What do you do? No, we get a pistol." She said, "Well, if you don't get me one, I'm gonna go get it myself," which probably and then get it registered and do all the stuff you do with a gun, handgun, that you can see a weapons license and all the stuff, which she's legally carrying a gun. So they finally relented and said, "Look, here, we're going to get you a gun." They got her a 38. And they said, "Now you go keep it in your purse. Now, this will be a last resort. You never want to use this." He said, "Okay." So the following week, ironically, she goes shopping. And she comes out of the grocery store with her cart with 2 big bags of groceries, and comes up to her car, and there's 2 guys sitting in her car. She said, "Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?" Now, as fate will have it, they didn't understand English. And so she starts screaming and hollering. They're in her car. So she pulls that 38 out. All of a sudden, they did speak English. They're out running. They're out of there. Never to be seen again. They're gone. And she's irate. She's upset. So she puts her groceries in the car. She gets in the car, and the key won't work. She said, "What's going on with my key?" So she calls her sons. Come to find that her car was in the other parking lot.
Oh, dang. Oh, she robbed him.
Wait a minute now. The story's not over. So they finally find her car, and she transfers the groceries over to her car, and believe it or not, her key worked her car. So she went on home. So I often said, I'd like to hear the story of the 2 Mexican guys that go home to tell their family about the crazy 85-year-old woman gun on them. But all the crime going on in the United States, 85-year-old woman pulls a gun on them and hijacks their car. One try to hijack their car.
That's crazy.
Okay,
True
man.
Story.
All
True
right.
story.
Once again, he's done it again. He's done it again. Oh, my goodness.
Crazy. That sounds like a joke.
Well, it sounds like one, but those 2 guys that she pulled that gun on didn't think it was a joke.
Man.
Oh, man. Oh, guys. All right, man. Look, we got to wrap it up, man. I think that was totally awesome. Once again, oh my God, Rick, you keep coming through, man. That's why we keep you on the show. And Brian, that's why he gets $100,000 a year.
Hey, Brian, I'm generating a revenue stream. You're not.
That D1.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
You're in AI, Brian.
All right. Well, let me thank everybody. Let me thank everybody. Rod,
CJ, Rick, Brian, thanks for having me so much. It's good talking to y'all. You too, Rodney.
Oh, hey, CJ.
Sir.
Can I say one thing before we hang up here?
of course, Rick.
Tell me, 'cause I got a story to tell you about Union College. You go to Union?
I went to Union, Kentucky.
In Barbersville, Kentucky.
In Barberville, Kentucky. Yes, sir.
All right.
You know about
I went
Barberville.
out there. Let me tell you a quick story. I went out there one time, went through the Cumberland Gap, went out this way, and turned off and started heading north toward Barbersville, and the sky just got dark. And I said, oh my goodness, I said, it's going to come a terrible storm. And the further I drove, the darker it got. I got to Barbersville, you couldn't even hardly see. It wasn't a storm, it was cold.
Wow.
What? Those coal mines are up there. That's coal. That's a huge coal mining area up there.
Oh, it's cold. Oh, okay.
Do some research on that, TJ.
Yo. Oh, that's
KJ. I mean, I'm sorry, KJ.
No, when I left there was actually a lot of like protesting. The coal workers were like actually protesting at the moment in the mines and whatnot. So yeah, it's still a big thing down there.
Wow. That's big business. That's big business. That's their job. That's all they've been doing their whole life.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, look, we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Shout out Barberville, Kentucky, though.
Yeah, there you go.
I know about Barberville.
Brian, thanks once again, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and same to you, Rick. You know, you guys never let me down. I love that. Rodney, KJ.
Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
We're going to do it again, too, guys. So get ready, you know.
Good to meet both of you guys.
You as well.
Yeah, great meeting you guys. We're going to keep an eye on you. Definitely keep an eye on you.
All right, my man. Well, we're getting ready to close it out. We want to thank everybody for being on. We'll do this again. And thanks, everybody, for checking out ABA 1-on-1. Peace. We out.
Howdy.
You're listening to ABA 1-on-1 podcast.
The best way to keep up with everything happening around here at ABA 1-on-1 is to join our monthly newsletter. Just for joining, we give you $230 worth of free gifts from our sponsors once you confirm your email address. You can unsubscribe at any time, but why would you? Just go to our website, www.aba1on1.club, scroll to the bottom of the page, and subscribe. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Remember, you can keep up with every episode by subscribing via our website. Follow us on social media and tell your friends about us. Next week, new guests, more basketball tips, more basketball stories about the game we all love. Till then, be safe and keep your eyes on the ball.
Give him a bone.